Hello everyone, this is Captain Z Wallace speaking over here, and we're going to continue our series flight. It's been a minute, but I'm here, I'm back, and let's get into it and go. Remember, we landed into Seattle, Washington from Portland International Airport, which is KPDX, and now we're going to go from Seattle to Boise. Remember, we're going to make our way up and down this great country of ours. Speaking of our great country of ours, before we get into anything, Hurricane Harvey has made landfall yesterday over Texas, Corpus Christi area, and then, of course, the Houston area. I have some families and friends out there. And if you're watching this video and you're out there, please be safe, stay inside, don't do anything dumb. And my prayers are with you guys. I hope for the best. And I'm watching over the news and stuff, and hopefully everyone is safe. So please stay inside, stay safe, all right? Okay, now, like always, we're using FlightAware.com. Remember, FlightAware is a free website that tracks real flights that happen every day, and give you actually tons of information about the flights as far as what altitude they went, what speed, what route they took, and just tons of more information, even the gates, everything. Okay, so check it out. It's my number one website to go to. And I try to simulate as much as I best possibly can within whatever happens in here. And I try to simulate in the simulator, okay, and explain. So we are going to simulate SkyWest Flight 4581. And let's go ahead and just get into it. Let's look at the flight details over here. First, let's scroll up here. They left gate B5 and they arrived at gate B22. We're going to do things a little bit differently. We're going to leave gate S9. I like that little... It's like a little small terminal in the middle of the airport. We're going to leave from there, and we're going to arrive at the same gate, B22, and hopefully it's available for us, okay? Here is the flight details. Look over here on the right-hand side, folks. Gives you everything, the departure time and the arrival time. They actually left a little early, and they arrived a little bit early, so that's a first, usually what happens. Okay, aircraft information is the CRJ-200. I'm excited to fly with this actual aircraft itself. Most of the time I'm using actually all the time I'm using the 737-800 by EADT. I'm not retiring that, but it's time to move on. It's time to get a new aircraft. It's a payware aircraft, obviously. They're not cheap. You know, and they're anywhere from $40 to $60. And then there's a learning curve that you have to kind of learn how to use these particular aircraft, but you pay for it to get you the experience, and it works really well. So I'm not the best at it, but I feel comfortable. I feel somewhat comfortable. So enough of me talking about that. The average fare was $133. They get no meal. Hopefully you guys get peanuts. They went up to 35,000 feet. That's pretty decent right there. We're gonna go to 33. They went 516 miles per hour. That's pretty fast, actually. We're gonna try to do Mach 0725. We'll try, or 750. All right, anywhere between that, we'll try our level best to stay at that speed. No less, no more. Okay. And now, the most important, the route. Now remember, on any of these things, you can hit these buttons here on the right-hand side, the ones that are highlighted in blue with the underline, with the dot underline, and they will actually decode and give you the graph as far as the speed. So if I click this, for example, you could see exactly how fast they went, what time, where they were actually at. That gives you the longitude, latitude, the direction that they were going in, and then the miles per hour, and then the knots that they went up to. They went up pretty darn fast, okay? And then even the rate of climb that they went up as well, okay? So the altitude. So you can hit you can hit this button right here on the bottom. This decodes it. This is the actual, or at least what they planned. The actual, reporting points, waypoints that are in their VOR that they reported exactly here. The same thing, longitude, latitude. What's the distance remaining, the distance flown, and then the actual course that they are on, the heading that they're on that particular waypoint, okay? So usually you try to match this up as much as you possibly can in your FMC computer. and usually you try to see that, hey, you know, this is what the route does. A lot of the websites out there, like Sky Vectors, or I think I'm using iFlight Plan. I'm going to show you some things on there. You can visually plot these points as well. You just copy and paste it, and it will show you exactly how you're going to be flying. If you see something wrong or something doesn't look right or it's pointing you somewhere else, go and track each one down, see what mistakes you made, or see if they made a mistake. They don't make mistakes. And then you know, correct it as much as you possibly can. This is simple, folks. We try to overcomplicate these things. All right, so let's take a look. Here's the actual route itself that they did. The green line is where they actually did. The blue line is their projected, what they are supposed to do. So it looks like they took off runway 34 right, and they went down this way. And then if you scroll down in here, it looks like they turned around and landed on runway 28 right. Okay, now here is our route. I want to show you something real quick before we head over to SimBrief. Okay, that's what we're going to do a little bit different. Here's the thing about the CRJ-700 by J.R.Rollin, by the way. It has a LNAV, but it does not have a VNAV in there. Okay, has an LNAV, but does not have a VNAV. VNAV controls your speed, and then the rate of altitude. Okay, so that's what the VNAV it does. Okay, vertical pitch, and vertical speed. All right, that's what it does. The LNAV obviously is, if you want to just make it as simple as possible, it gives you the directions. It's kind of like GPS. Okay, automatic GPS. So it does not have a VNAV. So we have to basically manually fly this plane when it comes to speed and pitch. Okay, altitude. So we have to manually do that. All right. And then also, it's not a very advanced computer at all. So what's going to happen is, you know, a lot of the stuff we have to make the adjustments on there. Okay. So if you look at it, here is our actual route. Okay, and what I did is I went over to what I like about, I think it's iflightplanner.com. What I like about this, and let me delete all this here so you guys can see here. There you go. What I like about that is it visually gives you the representation. You put your hand over it, actually highlights exactly where it is, the course. You can put your ground speed in there and actually tell you how much distance it is. You know, how long it's going to take for you to get from one waypoint or one reporting point to the other if you're going at that particular speed. Now see if I change this to like 250, you'll see that the actual time will change on it as well. So we'll keep it to 435 because that's probably going to be my average ground speed that I'm going to be doing. And then you're going to see that here it is. Here's Seattle. Obviously I didn't put any of the other points in here, but I'm not worried about this too much. Okay, sorry about that, folks. It's loading. I'm worried about over here. This is a VFR sectional chart that we're using, but I just want to show you guys something. Now, if I go, here it is, right? Here it is. So here's Seattle to Suma to BKE to DeVille to Cayenne, okay? So here it is. Here's my route. Now, that is what the route, you know, basically that's entered in here, right? Same thing. Suma J54 is an airway, so we don't actually have to put that in. The computer does it itself. But here it is, okay? Boom. To Cayenne 2. This is our arrival. Remember, this is our arrival. So where are we at? We're over here. Put this over here so it makes it easier on here, okay? Now, here is our ILS approach plate, okay? And I'm going to come down over here. And here it is, 18 nautical miles away from runway 28 right is Tolls, T-O-I-L-S, okay? That's the beginning. So, I don't want that. I want this. So I'm going to put in T-O-I-L-S. I could put capital. Okay? Boom, and now watch over here, folks. It's going to enter, and it's going to create some more navigational points for me. Here it is. Boom. Did you see that? It just created that. I don't know if you guys saw that. Now, from there, obviously, you have your intercepting altitude for the ILS, and then you're coming into runway 28 right. So let's go ahead and come back over here and just put in the airport, okay? KBOI, Boise Air Terminal, okay? Boom. Now, I'm looking at this thing here. Do I see something wrong? Not really, but I noticed that this right here is a super sharp turn in order for me to get into Boise. Okay, now if I look over here, you're going to see that they don't make that sharp turn. Or here it is, actually, believe it or not. I think this is the sharp turn. Look, it's so sharp you can't even see it. Looks like I can see two double lines here. Here it is. What they did is they made an adjustment. And see, now this looks like a nice, safe, remember, thinking about passengers here. A nice, safe turn right here into the airport. So, obviously, I don't have the actual point of where they used to turn, okay? I don't have it. It's not listed on there. They made the adjustment, or ATC actually made the adjustment for it. So what I like about iFlight Planner is if I was to come over here and right-click here, it gives me more waypoints and the direction the waypoint is from. Okay, from where I right-clicked it. So if I click over here, it'll basically tell me that, hey, there's, 7 nautical miles nats east is available. So if I went 7 nautical miles east and I click this button and I was to click it now to my route, so from here it would go 7 nautical miles, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click here, okay, because this is tolls. This is where my chart begins, all right? This is where my approach plate chart begins on runway 2A right, on tolls, okay? It's 7,000, all right? So I'm going to click here. And of course, obviously, I want to make a nice little round turn. I don't want it to be this sharp because by the time I get here, it's only 17 nautical miles away from the airport. It's not a lot for you to get adjusted, take off the autopilot, make sure your speed is correct, blah, 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 blah. It's not a lot of time. Believe me, it'll go by so quick. And you won't have enough time. You'll be rushing to get to the ground. Okay? Nobody's going to want to fly with you then. So what I want to do is I probably want to start from Cayenne right here. And I probably want to make a nice, go down this way, and then kind of make a nice little route, turn it around, come back in, then hit tolls, and then come on into Boise, right? I mean, that would be a little bit more safer. I have enough time. I could properly think about it. I can make my adjustments. I'm not rushing to get to the ground. I'm not rushing to go ahead and adjust myself and come into Boise, okay? Runway 28 right. So I remember I click right here. And now let's go ahead. This is what the cool thing about it. Let's go ahead and find something, which I already know which one it is. But I'm going to go ahead and find something and look at these things to see what the nautical mile away from and then what direction it is. So obviously, I want to go north, right? I want to go north from this particular waypoint here. I want to go up because I want this from here. I want it to be somewhere around here, around the same thing, at least turn the same. I don't want it to go further back east, and I don't want it to obviously go west because that would be too short. I want it to go in the same plane, in the same path, just north of tolls, maybe over here somewhere, okay? So click over here once again. And I'm going to go down, and I'm going to try to find it. Where it is. Where is it? I think I passed it. It is... Where is it? Here's clean. Where the hell is it? Ah, here it is. Value, or whatever you want to call it. Okay? So it's 12.6 nautical miles northeast. Now I went around, I played with some of them, and I found out this was probably the best one to hear. Now watch what happens when I click this, okay? Boom. All right, there it is. It's not too far. It's as close as possible. Obviously, you're not going to find something that's completely north of it, but this is somewhat north. This is somewhat in relation to this particular point right here, okay? Now, obviously, this is after the airport. So I'm going to go ahead and click the X button here. And now you can see, and click tolls, because of course I want it to be right after Cayenne. So I'm going to click tolls, I'm going to hit X. And now, before I do that, now you can actually see where the route's going to take me. That looks a little bit better, right? So if I was to click tools, delete that, here it is. Here's Cayenne. Now we're coming to value, or however you want to pronounce it. Okay? So look at that. So I'm coming down this way. Now that looks a little bit more reasonable. Now if I was to enter tolls, T-O-I-L-S, okay, that looks a little bit better. And now if I was to enter the actual airport itself, boom. Now there you go. So that looks a little bit more reasonable, right? So if you look down to it, that looks a little bit more reasonable. And this is probably the turn that they're making. Obviously nobody flies in a square like this, but obviously this looks like the turn that they're making. This is enough nautical miles in order for me to make the turn. I can come down, I can make my adjustments, make the turn, and come on in into runway 28 right. Okay? The sectional charts will actually, you can see that we'll be flying over some mountains here. And you can see this one is 6,336. This one, obviously, the highest point is 9,200. Here's 7,550. Here's 7,582. So, obviously, we want to make sure that we are above at least 7,500. Okay? 8,000. So, when we get over here, we can start making our descent. Then when we get over here, we can start making our descent. And we obviously will be slow enough and we'll be at the right altitude in order for us to make our approach into runway 28 right. All right, and see how easy of the adjustment I made into it. See that? Well, look at all these fires. All this red, folks, is fire. So no fly zone. Okay, so you can see that now. That looks somewhat similar, right? That looks somewhat similar to this guy, right? That looks somewhat similar to that guy. There's the turn. There's the turn, right? So it looks better. And we made the adjustment. By all it is adding another waypoint in there. That's it. Simple. So we can make these adjustments. It just takes a little time, patience, understanding, and making the call yourself. Like you're navigating by yourself, okay? All right. So now that we got that out of the way, now what we know what we need to do, we go to SimBrief. And in SimBrief, okay, I'm going to add that right after Cayenne. Okay? So that one is called VLUY. We're just going to copy it. And that's not it. That's not it. Okay? And I'm actually going to enter the rest of the stuff in there just so I can, where is it here? I can have a little peace of mind here. Okay? Why do I keep clicking that way? So I hit here, I analyze the route. Session expired. Click here to reactivate. Jesus Christ. Cayenne 2 not found. Why? I think it's because I entered. Don't worry, folks. Why is Cayenne 2 not found here? Well, here it is. This is one I entered in there. Oh, that's why there's no Cayenne 2. Hello? Okay. I'm a Dumbo. Okay. So here it is. This is going all the way down. This is basically, I think, here's Widop. So this is right here. It's 8 nautical miles away from the actual runway. So I'll go to SimBrief. I'll analyze it. I'll generate the op. I'll hit yes. This is a little longer flight briefing, but we got to get this out of the way, folks. Okay? So here it is. This is not the routing that I'm actually going to put in there. I'll show you when we get to it. I'll actually show you the route that we're going to be putting in. It tells us our block fuel, the aircraft that we're flying, the original Seattle. We're arriving in Boise, an alternate flight level 330. Okay, how long we're going to be in the air for, when we're departing, blah, 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 blah. Click here to show the map. And there it is. Now that looks just like this guy. That looks just like this guy. Okay? And we've matched it on 2 different charts over here. Okay, and now if I put my hand over it, you can actually see the waypoints. Okay? And the cool thing about this is why I like to enter as many waypoints as possible, because remember, we don't have a VNAV. Okay, we don't have a VNAV. So what's going to happen is this is going to basically tell me on the flight plan, it will give me a projected altitude to be at when I get to this particular waypoint. Okay? When I come over here, it tells me I need to be at flight level 11,900. Okay, not flight level. But it tells me I need to be at 11,900. So basically 12,000 feet. When I get over here, I need to be at 6,800, which is tolls. Okay? So these are just projected. This is not actual what you're supposed to do, but it's just projected at where you're supposed to be at. Okay? Now remember, because we don't have a VNAV, we don't have top of climb, and we don't have a top of descent. We have to manually configure that as well. So how do I do that? How do I get there? Well, here's the cool thing about this. Okay, so obviously it has cost index, your average wind that's going to go up there, the fuel, blah, 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 blah. Okay, scroll down over here. Actually, let me come up over here. Now we're fine. Can you guys see? Raise your hand if you can see. There you go. Let me zoom in this way. Okay. So here's the passengers that we have on board. We're doing 42, payload, 0 fuel weight, fuel, blah, blah, blah. And I actually use another program, which I'll show you right now. Okay? It's hot now. I need a glass of water. I don't know if you can hear that. Now, this flight log right here, this is where it tells you everything. Okay? And I'll let you read that on your own, because there's a lot of information to go. It's a tutorial on its own. But it basically tells you a top of climb. If you take a look at it. Right here, this is your altitude. So when you get to this waypoint, you need to be at this particular altitude. Okay? So here it is. Flight level 270, let's just say. Here's Suma 9. Top of climb. Flight level 330. Okay, so Suma 9 is going to be flight level 330. That's basically what it is. Okay, here's your other waypoints, your other waypoint, and then here it is, top of descent. Okay, top of descent starts right here. And how do I know when to start top of descent? Well, basically it tells me from DeVille, okay, 24 miles, 24 nautical miles from DeVille, I start my top of descent. Is that a little confusing? Not really. It is, but it isn't, because it's your first time learning maybe. If not, no. But this is just a projection, okay, of when to start your top of descent. So even though I don't have it, I have it here. It basically tells me in my flight plan when to start top of descent. 24 nautical miles from DeVille. I need to start my top of descent. And then when I get to these particular waypoints, here's my projected altitude. Okay, 28.6, 22.3, 11.9, 6,800. Okay, but then you also have to look at the charts coming in, because the charts coming in, where is it? Right here. They have their arrivals and they have their restrictions as well. Okay, that you need to be at. Here's some aboves. Here's a speed that you need to be at. Okay, here's above. Here's at. You need to be at this particular altitude and at this particular speed by these particular waypoints. So that's why these are projections. Okay, and they're not the actual thing. All right? Okay, so I don't want to get too much into that. So we have our new adjusted route that we did. Okay? We know when to do top of climb. We know when to begin top of descent. Okay? And then we know how fast, obviously, that we'll be going. Because it basically also says it right here, too. If you look right here, this is basically your airspeed. Okay? Mach 0.74 is how fast I should be going at the very most. Okay? Now, this is getting way too long. And it might be a little bit more confusing. But if you always want to figure out how to do this, click on this, how do I read this flight plan? A whole new window opens up. When you put your mouse over something, it actually tells you what the heck these things are. I mean, every line. Okay, well, this is an example. This is not yours, but it's going to tell you exactly what these things are. And then you can read them. And then guess what, guys? There's a thing called Google. Type it in, read it, and you guys go from there. Okay? So we have our dispatch. We have our flight plan. We have our route. We know exactly where we're going to. Everything is pretty much set. We're ready to go. Let's go ahead and hop over to, what did I say? S9. Okay, Sierra Niner is where we're going to be at the gate at Seattle International Airport. So let's go ahead and hop on over to the airport and talk about what we need to do from there. See you at the airport, folks. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Seattle International Airport. We are sitting at S7. I know I told you guys we were going to be sitting at S9, but that's my mistake. S9 is off more towards, I believe, my left-hand side. And so we are sitting at S7, and it's a little terminal out in the middle of the airport. Unfortunately, they have the international aircrafts over here, and it's all mixed up. But this is the Delta airport that we are. So our doors are currently open. We have passengers boarding, even though the master battery is not on. It's a beautiful day, and not a cloud in sight, huh? Well, there's one back here. So that's pretty much it. So enough of me chatting, as always. Let's go ahead and hop into the aircraft, since this is going to be our first time flying this aircraft. Now, we're in here. I'm going to let you guys know right now there's going to be a lot of tutorial isms that we're going to present over here. And that's only for the fact that this is our first time flying this particular aircraft. So we'll do it. We'll get with it. This thing's the aircraft itself, I guess, and it's been super hot today. This is like my third time trying to record this thing, and it's crashed already 3 times. So try not to record when it's like 95 degrees outside and you have no air conditioning in your house. All right. Okay. All right. So what we need to do is we need to get our checklist. How was the flight briefing, by the way? I heard it was like 90 minutes long. Good job, xEnviro number 1. Okay, so let's do this. So this is our checklist. This is by Xchecklist, obviously. This is a general type of mode checklist. Other people have different type of flows that they do. I like to follow this. I think it works fine, but we'll see what happens from here, okay? All right, so the main door is open. Battery master will come on, and I think I set up the view right here. So we'll put this over here to this side right here. Battery's right over here, so we'll switch it down. Battery will come on, and then we'll go ahead and we'll hit the AC button and master caution, which is right here. Otherwise, these things would just be beeping left and right, okay? And what we need to do is we need to get the GPU connected to this particular aircraft, so that our CRJ, so that we can have some power to do our FMS and blah blah, whole 9 yards. Okay, now to connect the GPU is really simple. And other aircrafts, remember in the 737 you would ask for ground power to be up here on the top. Well, in this case, to get the GPU, every aircraft is a little bit different. Ours, it basically tells us to pop up the FMS, which is right here, which I did here. And if I come out here, you'll see I think she's going to be here on this side so you guys can actually see the GPU pop up. It's going to be plugged in right over here. Oh, well, actually, I'm in that mode, so I'm on the outside mode, so it only does a circle. So here we go. Anyway, so here's the what we're going to hit is this MCDU menu, which is right here. And then we're going to hit plane menu, which is right here. And then we're going to hit external AC power, which is this button right here. And watch right over here, the GPU will pop in. Boom, the GPU is now connected. You can see the wire that is connected in there. So we're going to hop back into our aircraft. And what it tells us to do is hit the AC button, which is the electrical panel. And you can see that this pops up right here on top. If I take it off, you can see that it goes away. And if I press it, then you can see that the AC button is available. Now I'm going to go ahead and hit that, and you'll hear the buses come on. All right, now the buses are on. Master caution and warning is off. We'll come over here, and I'll go ahead and take this off. I'll move this out of the way. This cool thing, I can go ahead and, yeah, can move that right there. And we'll just kind of go over some flows here to make sure everything is set. All right, parking brake is set, obviously. I can see that it's up here in this position. Landing gear is down. Duh. Spoilers are retracted. And I'm going to make sure that, all right, spoilers work. Okay. Boom. Flaps are up, obviously. Weather radar, which is right here. We'll go ahead. I'll zoom in so you can see it. I'll turn it to the off position right there, okay? Air-driven generator restored. Fuel quantity is checked. All right, now, fuel is 5970. Now, I won't get too much into detail, but I'm using this virtual dispatch 1.2 for the CRJ-Rollin, and it basically dispatches the you can enter all your information in there, and it'll basically dispatch everything in there for you as far as how much you need to enter in your fuel, your payload, and then even the center of gravity offset, which is negative 10.4 for us. And then we put in the flaps, the V1 rotate. the V speeds, which is 1 rotate, and then obviously you're clean by 148. So you can see right here that everything is adjusted here. Even our landing trim pitch is adjusted. Because remember, this thing does not have a VNav, or it doesn't. It's a very simple flight management computer. Okay, so I'm just gonna click up here just to show you. I hit customize. That's how you do it. I hit weight, balance, and fuel, and then everything that you just saw right there was listed over here. Okay, so you can basically see how everything works. And our flight time basically is 1 hour and 26 minutes. That's fine. Boom, I hit done. Resume the flight. We're all set to go. So our fuel quantity is checked, and you can see it right here. Oh, so cool thing about this thing is that since my field of view is so large, and I think this is kind of how the pilots actually really see. This is kind of their field of view. I don't like it when it's like this too much. A lot of people like to do that, obviously, because it's a simulator. It's as much as I possibly can. So the cool thing about it is that it does have all these little pop-ups. You can pop it up because it's so far away. So what I usually try to do is I keep them here on top, away from everything, so I can kind of see what's going on. All right. So we'll ask for IFR to see. Let's just blah 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 blah. When we're going to Boise, this is how I'm departing. To going over the flight route. We're good to go. Okay, now we have to align the iris. Okay, I'll put this over here. As you can see, we have no information, no display, no nothing. What's going on? We need to let the navigation system, the flight management system, we need to let them know exactly where our pinpoint precision is, where we are actually located. So in order for us to do that, I'm going to pop this open too and hit index. Okay, so we need to do a status position initialization. So I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to come to these little switches here, iris 1 and 2, and I'm going to align them to nav. And you're going to see that it's going to open up a space where I can put in my coordinates of longitude and latitude, right? So here is boom, nav 1 and 2. That's the left and the right hand side. So my side and the first officer side. So we need to give it a reference airport of where we're actually at. So we're going to be at Seattle. So I'm going to say Seattle. I'm going to put that in. That's going to pop up. And then I'm going to go ahead and press this button right here. That's going to copy it to the scratch pad down here on the bottom. and then I'm just going to go ahead and enter it here. Now you can see what happened. It just said iris align, do not taxi. So now basically the iris is aligning. In some aircrafts, they'll actually tell you, hey, you know, you have 7 minutes in order for a line, 5 minutes, 14 minutes. This just depends on the system and where you are, etc. Okay? So we hit that button. Yaw dampers will go ahead and initiate that. Thrust levers, it's on the cutoff position, which it is. What do we got here? APU is off, bleed air is off, air conditioning, so we can turn that off. I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to hit this button right here. Boom, that's going to turn the air conditionings off. Now, hydraulic pump 3A, okay, which is right here. We need to turn that on. I can go ahead and turn this off. Now, here is this little, I hate this one. This one barely pops up. Now, this is our status display, multifunction display right here, okay? So I'll come over here. No, I'll come over here. Just kidding. Okay. So, see these buttons here? Move over here. Now, if I hit these different buttons, they will display different parameters here. So here's the fuel. This is basically telling me the fuel and if it's going to my left or right engine or the APU. The electrical that's going on, all the buses. Okay. The hydraulic system. All right. The ECS. And then basically the status of what currently is going on. This kind of displays on what has been activated. So right now the parking brake is on. That was my last move that I did. Blah, blah, blah. The trim. And then, you know, the rudder and aileron basically adjustments. Everything else is set. None of this other stuff is... oh, just kidding. Go back here. Yeah, that's 0 right there. Okay. None of this other stuff is not modeled. I'd say about 85 to 90% of the stuff or the buttons in here are pretty much modeled. Everything else isn't. I mean, you know, like modeled to the point where I didn't even know you can open this up. Well, check this out. Emergency exit. What? It's like a moonroof, bro. Let's get some air in here. Okay. So, I didn't even know that was modeled. So, anyway. So, I'm going to go ahead and put it to the hydraulic because we need to go ahead and turn on the hydraulic 3... A? Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. Now watch this right here. Watch the middle one right here. You're going to see the hydraulics come on. Now, the hydraulics are not on, so I can't really move. I'm moving right now. The pedals, you know, I'm pressing the brake down. You can see. I don't know if you can see right here. I'm pressing the brakes. Okay, brakes works, but I cannot move my rudder pedals, nor can I use my yoke. So now what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to turn 3A on. And right then and there, now I have hydraulics in the actual aircraft, okay? So that's basically checked. So we went through, we checked all the fuel, the ECS, status, instrument panel. We checked the yokes and the pedals to make sure that they work and they're active, okay? So everything basically works. Now I'm gonna go ahead and hit the annunciator lights right here in the corner. And the annunciator lights is gonna go on. Basically, that's just letting us know, oh, I can turn this off right here, or this right here. Letting us know that all the lights are working, everything works, everything is set, okay? All right, so now, just get some water here. It is hot. All right, so now that's that. All right, so now I'm gonna basically go ahead and go to next. All right, now they want us to close the main door now and hit the fasten seatbelt sign. I will turn on the fasten seatbelt sign. And the passenger should be loading, right? Oh, now see their lights didn't go off. Okay. So let's just pretend I closed the door right now. All right, now we got to enter the landing elevator pressure. So for us, I'm going to click here. I have one of the charts that's still open. So we have, what is this? Airport elevation is 2871. So 2,871 feet above sea level. So I think it does it to the nearest 20, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to hit the status one, which is right here. It's going to take us back right here. And see how it says landing elevation right now is 0. So I'll come over here, and I'll put this right here on the corner. And right here is the cabin pressure, and here's the knob to change it. So I'm going to go ahead and change it. So it's to the nearest 20, so I think it was 28. I'll do 2880. Oh, come on. Okay, there it is. Okay. So we did that. I'm going to just go down here. Altimeter, we'll go ahead and review the altimeter. Now the cool thing about this thing here too, this FMC here. Now here is the actual area where you would enter. It's coming down here real quick, right? Here it is. You can, and here's our comms and our nav, right? And here's where we would put in all our stuff, right? We would enter everything in here. Here's the knobs if you can move it. You know, the big one moves the before the decimal, and then the smaller one moves it after the decimal. So you can adjust it here, and it's kind of hard to see because this one's kind of chopped in here. This is hard to kind of fine tune it. It's overlaid a little bit more. So the cool thing about this thing too is you can pop this up and you can hit the button called radio, and I can go ahead and enter it in here. Okay. So what is Seattle? I already know it off the top of my head. If you don't know what it is, obviously you have to look it up on the charts. But say you don't have the charts on you as well. It's a little cheat here, but I'm gonna go ahead and hit the map. I'm gonna scroll down all the way. Ooh, wow. Military aircraft. And I'm just going to click somewhere in the middle here, and Seattle-Tacoma International Airport will kind of pick up. And I'm going to hit the details button, and then right here the ATIS is there, 118.00. Okay, so I already know the ATIS is 118.00, and I'll go ahead and enter it into COM 1. Now watch COM 1 here. Boom.
Seattle-Tacoma INTL.
Right, so let's go ahead and listen to that.
100 Zulu weather. Wind 330 at 8. Visibility more than 10. Sky clear. Temperature 23. Dew point -16. Altimeter 3009. Arriving runways 34 right, 34 center, 34 left. Departing runways 34 right, 34 left. Advise on initial contact. You have Papa.
Alright, we have Big Papa. Alright, so I'll go ahead and switch that back over so we don't hear that over and over again. Now, where do I enter my barometric pressure? Well, there's a little side panel right here on this corner, and you can make some adjustments on here, you know, for the FMC, and then right here it says baro. You can enter your V speeds right here, and then this is kind of to change the format, and then obviously, you know, the range, you know, zoom in and zoom out, basically right over here. Okay. All right. So the barometric pressure was 3009, I believe, if I don't remember. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll pop this open too so you guys can see. It's right here on the bottom. It's right over here. So we'll just change it to 3009. Okay, and that's set right there. So let's go ahead and initialize the FMS and go ahead and enter our flight plan in there. So what we're going to do, we are going to go to the flight plan by hitting the flight plan button, and I'll go ahead and close you guys out. So I'll set you guys up good. I don't want to move from here, so let's see if I can do this properly. So kind of zoom in here. And we'll go over here so it's kind of more center. Okay, so can you guys see that? If you can see that, raise your hand. Good job. All right, so let's go ahead and enter our destination airport. So it is KBOI, right? So that's Boise that we're going to put it in. Now, do not hit execute. I don't know why, but I think if you hit execute, it basically resets the entire aircraft. It's crazy. I mean, it resets most of the electronics and definitely the navigation computer. It definitely resets that. So do not hit the execute button, okay? So we've entered in, okay? So now what we have to do is we have to select our departure by hitting the departure arrival button right here, okay? So what are we departing out of? Do we need a reminder to see our route? Let's do it. Can I do it this way too? I can. Okay. So let's go ahead and click on the aviation chart. I turned off FlightAware because of the fact that it's always running off ads, so it's bananas. It's crazy. So we're doing the SUMA, right? to the BKE is our transition. We're doing the SUMA 9 departure, standard instrument departure. Our transition is BKE. We're doing direct to DeVille, or however you want to pronounce it. And then we're doing the Cayenne arrival, and then our transition is DeVille, right? So let's just look at this, because we made some adjustments right here. This is our modification. Oh, this is our reference airport that we're at, Seattle. So just look at this right here. Let's enter what we are to first, and then from there we'll make our modifications, okay? So let's do the SUMA. So we're departing, okay? Now we need to select first the runway of what we're departing from. I don't see it. Where is it? I know we're departing off of runway 34 right, but I don't see my runway here. So where is it? Well, you see this thing, 1 out of 2, right here on top, 1 out of 2. But basically, if I hit the next page, it's right there. It's listed right there, okay? So I'm basically going to select that. Basically, now it's selected. Now, automatically when I selected it, it's telling me that, hey, there's only 2 standard instrument departures. Which one are you doing? Are you doing the Seattle 5 or the SUMA 9? I'm doing the SUMA 9. So I'm going to click that. It's going to say selected. Now it's saying, what's your transition? Well, my transition is BKE. So there you go. Or Beck, however you want to say it. Or Beak. Okay? So now I selected my runway, my standard instrument departure, and my transition. Okay? Now look at this button. EXEC. What does that stand for? That means execute. So I want to go ahead and execute. Now, if I made a mistake, I can always hit this button called cancel mod, okay? Which is right over here. And I'll cancel everything, and you can go ahead and reselect everything. So I like what I see. So I'm going to hit the execute button, and the ACT basically tells me that it's active. Okay, cool. Now, I'm going to go back to the flight plan, okay? And I need to enter the rest of my information. So I'm going to hit the... where is it? Oh. Just kidding. Oh my god. Drink some water, Captain Z Wallet. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and enter in the rest of my route. Now, where is it? I can't find it. Exactly what just happened right now. I can't find it. Well, once again, stay calm and scan everything. Look over everything. Here's a 1 out of 2, which basically means there's a second page on there. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the next page button, and here is my flight plan. Okay, so what do I need to enter next? Well, what I need to enter next is DeVille, DEVLE, and then I'm doing the Cayenne arrival, okay? So, let's go over here and enter DEVLE, which is our next direct route, which is boom. Now, it's asking me if I want to execute this, but I still want to do stuff to it more, okay? And I know that my arrival is the Cayenne to arrival. So I'm going to go ahead and select the departure arrival button again, because I'm now at my arrival. So I'm going to hit the arrival. I'm arriving into Boise. Now it's basically telling me, hey, what arrival are you doing? Well, I see it right here. Here it is, the Cayenne 2. So I'm going to select that. The transition was DeVille, so I'm going to select that. And now I need to find my runway. Well, I already know I'm going to be landing into runway 28 right, because we've already talked about it. But say I didn't see it. Stay calm. Read over. Here, 1 out of 4. Next page. Oh, there's an RNAV. There's a VOR. And that's basically it. Okay? So I already know where it is. I saw it. It's the ILS 28 right. So I'm going to select that. Now it's asking me, what's the transition off to 8 right? And it's saying, are you doing the tolls transition off of that? Is that what you're going to be selecting? And it is, because if you take a look at it, I gotta get used to doing this. Here it is, right? I go to my approach plate for runway 28 right and come down here, and you can see tolls right there, 18 nautical miles away from the runway. So yes, this is exactly what I want. So I'm going to hit that button. That's selected. So I like what I see here. And what do? We press the execute button. And now that's active. So now if I go to my legs page, I can basically see that everything else is pretty much here. There's SUMA, there's VKE, there's a discontinuity. What is discontinuity? Obviously, there's the break in the actual route itself, so I'll show you how to fix that. We'll just keep going. Here's Mylar, here's Cayenne, tolls. All right, now, and then it basically, when I selected the toll, it put in the rest of the points right here. Jolty, Zip, and then KBOI into runway 28 right. And then it actually put in our missed approach in there as well. So take a look, right? So it basically entered in the rest of the stuff. These are points that are plotted right after tolls. So I like what I see. So let's go ahead and first fix the discontinuity. I'm gonna fix the discontinuity easy by hitting this button right here in the scratch pad. It's gonna copy it into the scratch pad, and then basically I'm gonna replace this with this. Okay, I'm gonna copy that over here and I'm gonna fix it. So I'm gonna say I don't want you here anymore. Okay, so that's one that I fixed. Now I'm gonna go to the next page because I remember there's another discontinuity. Same thing, I'm gonna copy tolls right here. It enters it in the scratch pad, and then I'm gonna replace this with this. Boom. Okay, so now I can go back and everything looks straight here. So I like what I see, and I want to save this action that I just did. So I'm going to hit the execute button. Okay, now we can make our adjustments. Okay, so how do we do that? Well, let's go over here, and we know we want to enter Velu or Velu, however you want to pronounce it. So VELUY. Okay, and that goes in between Cayenne and tolls. Okay, so it goes right in between that. So I need to find Cayenne and tolls. Here's Cayenne and tolls, and I want to sandwich it in between it. Okay, so if I want to sandwich it in between it, now if I select the Cayenne, it's going to go before the Cayenne, and I don't want that. If I select the tolls, it's going to go before the tolls. So it always goes before whatever you click on. So I definitely want it sandwiched in here between these two, right? So it was, oh God, I already forgot it. VELUY? Right? VELUY. Awesome. So I want to sandwich it in between then, so that I have to put it right here. So I'm going to go ahead and press this button here. And it basically sandwiched it in between these two. Cayenne, boom, toll. Okay? And I'm going to hit execute to save it, or I can make another modification, and I actually do. Okay? And let me show you exactly what I'm going to do. So I made that one modification, which basically is this waypoint right here. Okay? We just made this waypoint right here. Here it is. Boom. Coming from Cayenne. But now I want to add one more. And what is that? Well, I just want to be a little bit more safe. Okay, I'm going to go over my approach chart here. And I know that at Zip, I need to be at 6,000, right? This is my intercepting altitude if I'm doing an ILS. I don't think I'm going to be doing an ILS. I'm going to set myself up for an ILS. I can always go ahead and take over autopilot and use a localizer to kind of gauge and drop me down, okay? So what I want to do is, I know I need to be at 6,000 here. It tells me I need to be at 4,900 at WIDOP. Okay, so I'm just going to be safe and enter it in. Okay, just to give myself a reference point to where I need to be at. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead. WIDOP. So I'm going to go ahead and enter that in. WIDOP. And I want, where do I want that? I want that right in between Zip and KBOI, right? Which is runway 28 right. So I'm going to want that sandwiched in between. So I'm going to hit the KBOI, which is going to put it above it. And there it is. And then I'm just going to go ahead and now, I like what I see. I'm going to go ahead and hit the execute button. So now, I've just entered my flight plan. I've just entered all my routes in there. Okay? Cool. So it has some flight restriction stuff that's basically set up in there, as you can see. But as you guys do your departure and arrival, as you guys do your departure and arrival, your standard instrument departure and arrival, you guys will kind of go over. We're going to make some modifications to that too. All right. Okay, cool. Now, let's go ahead and pop open the checklist. So we did the FMS initialization. We did the FMS flight plan, flight management system plan. So there you go. Now I also need to go ahead and adjust my thrust limit. I can go ahead and put the nav aids basically in there if I want to, and I'll show you what that is when we get there. But I don't want to, so we'll just skip that. But I'm going to go ahead and adjust the thrust limit, and by doing that, how do I do that? I'm just going to go ahead and hit the flight plan button. I'm going to hit this perf initialization thrust limit button right here, and now it tells me that I need to enter in a temperature right here. So that's really easy. I'm just going to look up right here. The temperature right here is 26. I'm going to enter in 26, plug that in there, and it's basically going to give me my thrust limit. So basically we're going to be taking off. TO stands for taking off. I'm going to select that. That says active, and we are all set for that. Okay? All right. So now let's go over here. I can get out of here. Woo! Can breathe now. I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to select the nav source right here, and I'm going to turn this into FMS, which basically means that I want you, once the autopilot's engaged, I want you not to be on the course. I want you to follow the actual route that I put in there. So I'm going to go ahead and select this. Watch this right over here. This is going to change from nav 1 to FMS. It should. Come on. There it is. FMS. Boom. Okay. Done. Oh, why is all my old stuff in there? Okay, cool. Well, I don't need to enter in, but let's just pretend that I didn't have any altitude in here. I'll hit the 0 button. Just for you. Okay. We'll do the heading button. So the heading that we have to be on is heading of runway heading, which is 341 or 2. So if you look right here, the heading bug is starting to change, and here is 341. I believe it's 341. Okay, and we'll put in the initial altitude as well. So here's the altitude on top, and I can either use the mouse wheel to scroll, or I can just hold this down and just move this all the way to flight level 330, which we're going up to. Boom. Okay. And we're basically ready to start up our APU. Okay, APU is loud. So I'm also going to go ahead and click the heading. And I'm also going to do a vertical speed. And we'll take off and we'll climb out at 2,500. Okay, so when I engage the autopilot, all our stuff is pretty much set and ready to go. Okay, now let's go ahead and close the door. And this part's pretty fun. I'm gonna come in here. So I'm gonna open this door right here. Just come on. Where's my flight attendant? So here's the interior cabin, as you can see. You can hear people being loaded in there, but obviously you don't see diddly squat. Remember, this plane was done in 2011, but still, it's great. So the textures are not that great in here, but heck, man, it's pretty still fun to fly. There's my car, as you can see. So we'll go ahead and close this. And we'll hop back in here. Give you guys a good little view of the cockpit as I hop back in here. Alright, so that's fun. Okay, so let's go ahead and start up the APU, which are auxiliary power unit. Remember, the APU is in the back. And I'll show you exactly where the APU is. There it is. That's the exhaust port and the APU. Okay. So I will come over here, and we've actually got to set ourselves up a couple things. So I'm gonna hit this button, get this up, and get this up. and I'll show you exactly why I have to do that. So I will put you here, because we're going to disconnect the ground power. Now, I don't know if this is something that a bug or crossing over to X-Plane 11. I don't know if this is it, but for some reason the APU turns off when I try to start up the engine. It always happens. I don't know why it turns off. Maybe somebody knows, but I'm going exactly with what it's telling me to do. So I have no idea why it's happening. So anyway, so let's go ahead and turn on the APU. We're going to zoom in here so I can show you exactly what's going to happen. Look right here. This says APU door is closed. We got to open the door first. I'm going to hit the power button. The APU door is going to open. And then it's going to show me that the APU door is open. Now I'm going to go ahead and initiate the APU by hitting the stop button right here. So you can see that the APU is starting up. Now see how loud this is. You hear that? She's turning on. It's alive. Okay, so once that is available, it's gonna let me know it's available. There it is. And then I'm gonna go ahead and switch over this way. All right, so now the APU is available. Beacon will go on, nav lights will go on, fuel boost pump will come on. All these guys will come on, and ignition A will come on. So this is exactly what we just did. Hydraulic pumps will all come on too. 1, 3B, and 2. And we just did all that, and then we'll check the fuel to make sure that the fuel's working, which is here. And we are getting fuel to the APU. Okay, and my plane is ready for pushback. So let's go ahead and initiate pushback.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Thank you, baby. So you're gonna see this guy's gonna come in right here. Here he is. He takes forever to do a pushback. I like this pushback system. It's cool. It works. It's really neat, but I don't know. All right. Oh, let's go ahead and disconnect the external power. So the GPU will do that, and that will be disconnected. Okay. So as soon as he starts pushing us back, we'll go to this next page, and we'll start with the engine start. So basically what we have right now, everything is off, right? Okay. So we'll start with the right engine. We use ignition A to start it. We'll wait
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Okay, connect. So as soon as we hit 15%, we will start the engine. We will open the valve right here.
Winching strap and adapter in position. Release parking brake when ready to start pushback.
All right, here you go. Watch this. Boom, parking brake is released. He's going to raise us up now. As you can see, we're being moved, and then we'll start being pushed back. He'll tell us when to start the engines, okay? And then once that happens, we'll go ahead and introduce fuel, and we'll be good to go.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
All right, so here we go. So right engine starting up. You can see the N1 starting to rise. Once it gets to 15, there it is. I'm going to go ahead and start it up.
Okay. Be sure all carry-on items are securely stowed in an overhead bin. And place smaller items.
And this APU is going to shut off any second. Watch.
And ensure all aisles,
There it is.
areas,
I don't know why it did that.
and ensure your mobile phones and electronic devices are turned off.
I have no idea why.
If you're seated at an emergency
Anyway.
exit, please review the responsibilities for emergency
Maybe
exit
this generator needs to be on. I have no idea.
which is in your seat pocket.
Well,
Are you willing and able to assist
this wasn't the way it's supposed to go, but basically the generator is on now, and that's not the way we started up, but I'll have to figure it out on my own. Okay. So let's go ahead and start with the left engine now. We'll go ahead,
Make sure your
start it up.
seatbelt is fastened. To fasten, insert the metal
Wait till it
pin
gets to
into the
15%, which it automatically did,
low and tighten the coffin flap. To release the
and we'll
belt,
turn that on,
press the top
okay?
button. Please remain
So we'll
seated
just go down this
with your seatbelt
checklist here.
fastened anytime the seatbelt sign is on. And even if the sign is off,
See the engine starting up.
in case we experience unexpected abrupt air.
Go ahead and cross all this off here.
Federal regulations require all passengers to comply with the posted placards and lighted information signs located throughout the cabin, in addition to any crew member instructions. Smoking
And he's putting us where we need to be. Okay. So, now that's all stabilized, we'll go ahead and turn the generator on. APU generator can go off. Okay. Stop switch can go off. APU power button can turn off. And then we can get rid of these guys. And ignition A can come off. Okay. Now, what's cool is, see this 14th stage? Well, there's a way to do it where you can use the 14th stage bleed air to turn on the other engines. Look it up. It's awesome.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
I will. Thank you.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it. All right, we got to get moving. So let's go ahead, turn the air conditioning packs back on. Get these guys some air. Okay, the probes can come on. All right, thrust reversers need to go on. Yes, go ahead, disconnect, and then we check everything. So here's the thrust reversers. They're right over here. It's basically initiated, and we need to do the trim stabilizer check, and then we check our flight instruments. So our trim, according to this little chart,
disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Thank you. So basically, our trim, takeoff trim is 8.4. This is the most funniest thing in the whole wide world. So, hold on a second. Watch this. Dun, 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 dun. Thanks, man. You can get in your car and drive off now. Appreciate it. Showing me you got the key to success right there. Thanks for removing my pins, man. My pro pins, man. All right. So let's go ahead and check all the stats for everything. We're looking good. Everything looks good. Okay. So I'm going to do a couple things. So I'll put this back on stat. Pop this guy open. And I'm gonna go ahead and put things where I want them to be. Okay, so I want this here. And I want you to note something, that if you go here, see how the window pops up? If you let go and it stays up there, you won't be able to get it. It's gonna be stuck up there the entire flight. Okay, so put this guy here. I'll put this guy here. And I'll put this guy right over here. So it's okay. I lose a little bit of visual stuff, but it's okay. All right, so let's go ahead and check the flight instruments, make sure they work. Where's my rudder pedals? On the floor. All right. Okay. Oh, well, there's that rudder pedal. That works. All right, so full right rudder. Cool. Back to center. Full left. Cool. Back to center. And... will you stop? Okay. And full left. Awesome. Back to center. Full right. Awesome. Back to center and down. Awesome. Back to center and up. Awesome. Back to center. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay. So flight instruments are checked. Trim was 8.4, so we need to set it at 7.0. I will move it to 8.4. It's electronic trim. Rudder pedals, rudder radar, we can turn back on. Taxi light can go on, and V speeds we didn't put in. I don't know why the V speeds are over here. I don't know why they put it in. So, let's see. V speeds is 138, 140, 148. So so to check, do the V speeds, click this over right here to the right till it says V speeds. 138. Then you hit select. That's V1. Then you hit select to V2, or rotate. Sorry. is 140. Then you hit select, and then 148 was our clean by, and then I'm gonna go to the target, and I think this is a climb out. It's like 176. I don't know. Okay, so I will go ahead and do that. Beacon is on, nav lights is on. Taxi, max speed, and then let's go ahead and hold short to the right. So I'll go ahead and take off the parking brake. Parking brake is disconnected. Put this guy back here. I'll turn all these guys off. We won't need them until we get to the runway. Let's give it some juice here. And we are on our way. And as we head on to runway 34 right, you guys will go over the taxi briefing on how we're going to get there, folks. So why don't you guys go over the taxi briefing, and I will see you just a little bit shy short of runway 34 right. All right, folks, let's talk about our taxi on how we're getting to runway 34 right. Now, we're going to be sitting here at Terminal S7. We'll go ahead and do a pushback, a nose to the left until we get onto a taxiway. Once we're on the taxiway, we'll go ahead and follow it around until we intersect Bravo. Once we intersect Bravo, we'll make a left onto Bravo and follow Bravo all the way down until we hit our hold short at runway 34 right. Once we are there, we'll get our clearance from our fake ATC, line up, and depart on out, heading over to Boise International Airport. Ladies and gentlemen, that's how you get there. All right, folks, welcome back here. We are just a little shy short of runway 34 right, and I'll let these guys know that we are ready to take off. Now, I did a little time adjustment, by the way. It was too late in the evening as my takeoff was set for, and by the time we arrived to Boise, because we're doing this in real time, it'd be so dark you guys wouldn't be able to see the arrival properly, so I didn't notice. So I took the time back a little bit, guys, so please don't get mad at me. That's why it's a little bit brighter, as you can see. So I just took it about an hour, which I kind of wanted, all right? I wanted when we arrive into it, it'd be a little bit evening, that golden hour, so.
Approaching 34 right.
Well, the wind's going right down the runway.
Runway 34 right. Flaps.
Oh, I didn't set the flaps. Wasn't that on our checklist? We just went right by the flaps? All right, well, that's why we have this system in check and in place. Oh boy, what is wrong with me? Didn't even set the flaps. All right, so let's go ahead and put the parking brake on. She's not gonna like us one over here, so I'll bring all this stuff back on. All right, we'll bring up our checklist. I did not set the flaps. Okay, so strobe lights come on right here. Taxi lights can go off. Landing lights can go on. Everything else is set. Yes, good. Oh, set this guy right here. Change it to the one that I want, which is right here. Flight director can go on. Bing, bada bing, bada bing, bada boom.
On runway 34.
Yeah. You know,
on
I know.
runway 34.
I know.
Right.
Okay. We don't need a transponder. All right, so let's go ahead, put this up here. We are kind of off to the left-hand side. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get the hell out of here, and let's head on out to Portland, Boise International Airport. What is wrong with me? Just a little mad when I don't set the flaps properly. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get off the brakes here. So I'm going to go ahead and get the engine stable up to 40%, which they are right now. And now I'm just going to go ahead and slowly accelerate. Alright, takeoff thrust is set. Heading down the middle of the runway, watching our speed. We are already at 80 knots. $120. And there's our rotate. And rotating up. Positive rate of climb. Gears going up. Ouch. There's nobody there. Trying to keep her in the flight director here. Gear is up. Trying to keep her straight and level. And I'm going to go up flaps 1, or flap 0 actually. Slow her down even more. And I'll go ahead and engage the autopilot. Autopilot will take over. We're going to watch our speed here. Try to keep her on the heading here. And I don't need this anymore. Come on. I don't need this anymore. I'm gonna watch this. Yes, wheels are up, landing gear and flaps. Autopilot is engaged. And we'll wait till we get to 10,000. This is fine. Go ahead to nav mode. I'm gonna come over here real quick so we get a good view of stuff. We can turn even this off right now. I know where I'm going. Just want to get a good view of everything so you guys can see. Oh, that's beautiful. Look at that. That's gorgeous, huh? Come over here. That's Ortho XP, man. I mean, see, cinematically, it's gorgeous. It is absolutely gorgeous cinematically here. Look at that. That's beautiful. Man, that is gorgeous. That is by... Gee, golly God. That's great. Okay. Sorry, I got a little carried away. All right. So, look at the clouds. Ooh. Man, that's great. Okay. So, let's make sure we are pressurizing. We are. As we are climbing up, you can see the pressurizing system is working. The cabin pressure system is working. Oxygen level is perfect. Okay, we are on course. Speed is fine. We're approaching just the 10,000 feet checklist. Turn this off here real quick. We're already at 8. Let me pop this up here real quick, real guy. Ooh, don't want it to go up that far. So I'm going to zoom out here. Oh yeah, we're fine. And we are fine. Alright, we're at 250. We're at the perfect speed right now. Ooh, a little frame rate drop here. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. See if I think that's on right here. Man, will you get out of here? Hold on. We're about to do a 10,000 feet checklist. Get out of here. Speed's fine too. I just want to see this. Amazing. Amazing. All right. We got things to do. Okay. So I'm going to make this turn here. Once that happens, we've already passed the 10,000 feet checklist, so I don't need this. So I already know the lights need to go off. Okay. Seatbelt sign I'll keep on for right now. Let's open up our checklist. Climb checklist. Okay. I'll go ahead and I'll go to the thrust limit. I'll go ahead and put for 91.2. Alright, landing lights are off. Thrust limit. Release. Okay, and now we're gonna hold at 290 until we hit Mach 0.70. We reset the altimeter at flight level 180, and that's basically going to be 2992. Okay, so I'm going to actually bring this down here a notch. Climbing a little too quick. Remember, we need to be at flight level 330 at Suma. So turn this off, and I will turn this off, and I will let that kind of go up to 290, which is happening right now. Give you guys another little view out here real quick. Wow. Views, man, views. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get us up here to Suma, and you guys are going to go over your departure briefing on how we departed out of here. And once that's done, I'm going to meet you here a little bit short of flight level 330, maybe at flight level 30. And then from there, we'll talk about what we're going to do when we get at that point. All right, folks? So I will see you here just shy short of top of climb. See you back here, folks. All right, let's talk about our departure. We are doing the Suma 9 departure out of Seattle-Tacoma International Airport. So let's go ahead and go down here to the depart route description, which is here on the bottom. And we know that we're going to be taking off runway 34 right. So let's go ahead and read that and decode it, and then we'll go ahead and track it on our charts. All right, so what does it say? All right, so it says climb to a heading of 342 and then a SEA radial of 341. Thence to cross Nezug at or above 4,000, then right turn heading to 070 to cross the PAE radial of 139, then a right turn heading 165 to intercept the SEA radial of 146 to Suma, which is the intercept, then via assigned transition to whatever transition you're going to take. Okay, what does all of that mean? Okay, so first, let's go ahead and find our runway. We know we're taking off runway 34 right, so let's go ahead and find that on our chart here, and here it is, okay? So from there, let's go ahead and do line by line. So the first thing we do is we depart out, we climb to a heading of 342 and SEA radial of 341. Now, as you can see, the radial right here, that's the VOR, Seattle radial. So we go ahead and track that. We're parallel to that, which is the 341, 342 radial. So it's basically like just stay on this particular side of the mountain. All right, so then we cross Nezug. So here's Nezug right there at or above 4,000. So we have a restriction right there. We need to be above 4,000. How do I know that? Because the 4,000 is sitting above the line, as you can see right there. So that means we need to be above 4,000. If it was below it, that means we would have to be below it, right? So we need to be above 4,000 at or above when we hit Nezug, okay? So once we hit that, we turn a right to 070 to cross the PAE radial of 139. So where is that? Well, it's basically right there. As you can see it right above, there it is right there. Okay, so it's pointing to the arrow down, which is right in front of the 165. So that's particularly where that PAE radial is, right? The VOR. Then we turn right to 165, which basically I just said right now, to intercept the SEA radial of 146. So where is that SEA radial? Well, that's the Seattle radial, which is right there. That's the 146 that basically that we were just parallel to, we're basically back on that radial right there, that particular VOR spoke. That's the 146 that we're on, okay? So it's the opposite side of the radial 343. Remember, a VOR is like a bike. It has a hub and then different spokes giving different radials, okay? So now we are on that one, what did I say, 46 to intercept Suma. And that is where our point is going to be, because that's our departure point. And then remember, when we're doing a standard instrument departure, otherwise known as a SID, the one after is our transition. So basically it says then via assigned transition. So what does that mean? Well, basically it's saying, what are you transitioning to after that? Well, there's only 2 transitions that are listed over here. So obviously, remember, if we have to follow the arrows. So basically there's 2 transitions. You have Lakeview, which is right below it. And then off over here a little bit to the east or southeast is the Baker City, which is the BKE. Well, obviously we know that's the next one in our transition, so we're gonna go ahead and head out that way of a radial of 283 to BKE, okay? And so that is basically our Suma 9 departure out of Seattle-Tacoma International Airport, headed to Boise International Airport. That's how you do it, folks. All right, folks, welcome back. We just passed Suma. About 2 miles away from Suma, and we're making our turn here. We are at Mach 0.70. And we're about 2,000 feet from top of climb that's going on right here, all right? So let's go ahead, open up our handy-dandy checklist. We'll hold 290 till we hit Mach 0.070. Let's go ahead and see the cabin difference right here. Make sure that we are pressurizing. Boom, I don't want to come up. Move these things around too much because I want to get some views. So yes, we are still pressurizing. We're looking good. Pressure is holding. All right, we resetted our altimeter to 2992, which is right here. You can see here, and then obviously you can see right here. It's there. And we are holding Mach 0.70 until we hit the cruise, okay, which is basically coming up right now. All right, once we get to our cruise speed, we're going to go up to Mach 7.5. I'm going to stay between 7.35 and 7.5. Fasten seatbelt sign is going to come off. There's our 1,000 feet alert. Engine instruments will check. Flight instruments will check. Fuel quantity will check. And cabin pressure will monitor, okay? So we'll do that as that comes off. And then I'll talk about what we need to do when we get there, all right? So we'll go ahead. Everything is being monitored. It's fine. We are still pressurizing, so I'll go ahead and close that. We are 340 nautical miles away from our destination. Should be arriving within the hour. You should be arriving quickly before me, by the way. I have to sit here. You don't, okay? And then we have wind coming from our rear at 228, little crosswind, slight crosswind at 30, not bad. We're sitting slightly at a crab. If I was to get out here and do our still spot, I should have never clicked that. Come on, view still spot, you'll be able to see it. Check this out here. Ooh man, that looks great, huh? So you see that we're kind of at a crab that we're going on here, which is not bad, okay? So here we are, coming down. I'm gonna start bringing her down now. We've reached top of climb. Remember, in a VNAV situation, it would adjust our throttles for us. Ground speed right now that we're at is 440 knots. Okay, this is good right here. We'll monitor it, make sure we're good. See how much she starts to climb. I'll bring her down just a tad. That should be good right there. All right, as long as she doesn't start moving backwards, I'm fine. All right, yeah, she'll be fine. We'll just play with it. All right, so that's basically the keys, just to kind of observe the throttles here, play with it back and forth, just to kind of make sure it sits at the right particular spot. Fast seatbelt signs can come off at this point. All right, no smoking can stay on. We'll go over here, make sure everything is... Get out of my way. Nope, I don't need you. No lights, except for the ones that need to be on is on. No lights over here. Everything looks good here. How's my buddy here? Nobody closed the door? Jesus. You took off like that? Rude. Okay. So where we are, basically. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get down just a scotch more. We are traveling quick here. Oh, yeah. That's pushing us right along. All right, and now you guys get to enjoy a 1 minute montage. If I decide to put one together, but I think I will. So ladies and gentlemen, sit back, relax, enjoy the 1 minute montage, and then we'll meet you right back here when we're, we got some things to do. So I have some explaining to do. Let's say, so I say we're gonna be back here about 150 nautical miles away from Boise, and I'll explain how we're gonna do our descent. Because there's no VNAV, so we need to kind of figure out when we're going to do top of descent, and then we'll just make our adjustments along the way, and I'll talk you down to it, okay? But in the meantime, in between time, enjoy your montage, and I'll see you back here, folks, a couple thousand feet shy of top of descent. Or, actually, I take that back. A couple 100 feet nautical miles away from top of descent. 150 nautical miles away from top of descent. What am I talking about? I'll see you back here, folks. Enjoy the montage. All right, folks, welcome back. I tried to bring you about 180 nautical miles away from Boise. As you can see right here, we're 180 nautical miles away from Boise. And the reason why is I want to give us enough time to explain on how we're going to descend down here. All right, now this is the X-Plane Tools descent calculator from xplanetools.com. And there's many various ways to calculate, but I like using this one because it's pretty simple, it's not overcomplicated, and it gets right to the point, okay? Now, I know my airport elevation is at 2871, okay? So I'm going to target it 3,000 feet, okay? I'm just going to target it 3,000 feet just to show you how I figure out my top of descent, okay? So I'm at 33,000 feet right now. My target altitude right now is this right, by the way? Should be more boxes. There you go. 33,000 feet. Target altitude is going to be big on miles. Oh, I guess not. Yeah. There you go. What did I say? 3,000. Speed above. I'm going to shoot for about 400 knots. My ground speed. Remember, it's got to be your ground speed. And then speed below, I'll say 250. My descent rate, I know it's going to be anywhere from 1,800 to 2,000 feet. That's the average, so I'm going to say 1,800. And then I'm going to hit the calculate button. Now it's telling me I need 101.39 nautical miles away to start my top descent, okay? Now how do I figure out my vertical speed? I can do vice versa. I can plug all this stuff in. I can hit 101.39, and it'll give me my calculations that I need to descend at 1973, and then 1233 at 1,200 feet after that. Okay, so roughly, this is looking at more of 1,900 feet per minute, and then more of 1,200 feet per minute. All right, so pretty simple to figure out, right? Not too shabby at all. So I figured that part out. So not too bad. Okay. So what do I need to know for my descent checklist? All right. Well, obviously I know that. Get down here. I hate that thing. I need to learn how to turn this off. Hate that thing. So fasten seatbelt sign automatically. We'll turn that on once we're going to start our top of descent. This descent rate. See now, they got an average of 1,500 feet per minute, but these are just guidelines. Okay. And then what they want me to do is they want me to hold at Mach 7.5 until I hit 290, and then once that happens, hold 290 until I hit not flight level, 10,000 feet, and then get the ATIS, reset the altimeter once we hit 18,000, and then blah 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 blah. And then we do our approach, which basically comes in there. Okay, so I know also that it's over here that my ATIS is 123.9, so I'll go ahead and set the radios up. And I've already entered in our nav computer the nav, so 123.9. I'm gonna put that in, and that's not gonna go off until, well, I'll switch them. I don't want that thing to go off. Alright, so that won't go off until maybe about 90 nautical miles away from the airport. That's when we're basically going to be kind of in range for that, okay? The barometric pressure. Now, I'm going to do a little cheating here, because this is a simulator, just for you guys, but I'll get it the way I'm supposed to get it. Now, if I scroll down here, we're just getting to the tip of Boise. See, this doesn't let me go that far, but here we are. We're heading down this way. We're taking this airway right here. We're coming down this way. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the airport, and I'm going to hit details. So remember, you can do that by hitting the map button and then clicking details, and you can get all kinds of frequencies. And then here's the conditions. So sky's clear, visibility more than 10. Wind 210 at 40. Woo! That's nice. And then altimeter is 3006. So just for you guys, since you'll probably be doing your arrival briefing, we're going to be doing 3006 into it, okay? So that's that part right there. Now, another thing is just so that you guys can kind of go over some stuff. Here's our localizer, 110.15, or push close to 80. Okay, and then basically we have a missed approach. We climb to 6,000. If we need to do a go around, we do a 6,000, and then we head on this radial of 279, and then we get to this ATL, which is 13.4 nautical miles away from the runway, and then we sit in this holding pattern until ATC instructs us to do it all over again. And then we probably do a standard traffic pattern coming into runway 28. Okay? So that's that. Just so you guys get briefed. Zip is our intercepting altitude. Now, I'm not going to do an ILS, even though I can set myself up for an ILS. I just figured because it's such a sharp little turn that we're doing. Now, even though I set myself up properly, it gives me just enough time to get down there where I need to get. And then I'll basically just turn off the autopilot and try to fly it in. I don't think I'm going to get straight down the center of the runway. I'll do my best of my ability. But I'm going to get us at least landed on the ground safely, and I think that's the main objective right there. Okay? So, let's look at other stuff. We are 133 nautical miles away. Now remember, there's one thing also that I basically said, calculate, that I need to be 101 nautical miles away from there. And I'm going to do a little bit different. I'm going to add +5 or +10 depending on how I am, because I'm going to slow us down a little bit. And I'm going to do probably about 110 nautical miles away from the actual airport itself, because I slow down as I start descending down. Because the thing about this particular aircraft is, maybe I'll do 115. The thing about this particular aircraft is, it does not like to slow down. It loves to stay fast. I mean, I could be on straight idle, descending at only 1,800 feet per minute, and the damn thing doesn't want to slow down. It just wants to continue to stay afloat. And that's the thing. Good for you, airplane. You want to stay up there, that's good for you. All right. So I'm going to start out a little bit further back, and then I'll slowly just gauge it. That's the thing. It doesn't have to be perfect. Remember, we can use this to gauge. We have a marker that tells us exactly when we're going to get and estimate it to when we're going to get to that particular altitude. So that's basically pretty much it. We're getting close here now, folks. So I want to, and I'm getting pretty fast too. See, it's all about managing speed and not talking to you guys. Now here's something that I wanted to show you guys. Ooh, what is that? You guys see that? It's gonna pop over here. Where are you? I saw you. You're out here somewhere. Man, it disappeared quick. I saw that. I don't know if you guys saw that. But let's just real quick before we start descending down here. Turn this guy off too. This is the worst one. Turn off. There he goes. Look at that. Look at that nice pink. Look at that orange glow on the mountains. It doesn't get any better than this. This is amazing. Look at that. Oh, look at that. Screenshot. Do another one. Okay, I think it's already time to start. It is. So we'll start top of descent. I didn't even prep myself up here. I'm going to take us down. So let me slow down here. I'm going to take us down to start my top of descent. 1,900 feet. And I'm going to take us down to, I'm going to say 4,900. That's my last little one. Okay? And I'll make adjustment as we go. So we started top of descent. We are slowing down. I'm going to get my ground speed to about 400, which is right here, GS. This is my ground speed. And I'm going to get that guy at about 400. Okay? So, let's see if I can get the ATIS. Nope, not yet. Still pretty far away. Okay. Is that it? Okay, so, let these guys know we've started our descent. So I'm starting my descent into Boise, Idaho, where the beautiful potatoes are at. I am starving right now, so after this, I'm going to eat big time. You guys go over your arrival, and remember, the airport is 2881, which means we are 2,881 feet above sea level. So what that means is our 10,000 feet checklist, let's round it off to 13,000. Our 10,000 feet checklist will begin at 13,000. Okay? Our 10,000 feet checklist will begin at 13,000. So we're gonna, when we get back to 13,000, that's when we'll begin our checklist. And I'll kind of meet you guys back here. I'd say 15,000 feet, 16,000 feet. I'll meet you guys back here. All right, folks? So sit tight. Enjoy the arrival. Go over that real quick. See what adjustments and different modifications we made. And I'll meet you guys back here when we get to about 16,000. See you back here, folks. All right, folks, let's talk about our arrival into Boise Air Terminal Gowan Field. We are doing the Cayenne 2 arrival. Now, we're going to be doing something a little bit different, okay? I'm going to go over this chart the way I usually do, but then I'm going to ignore some of the stuff, and then we're going to go over to another chart and see the adjustments that we're going to make. Now remember, in the beginning, we changed our entire route, well, especially the arrival coming in. Actually, that's the only thing that we changed, if I want to go ahead and think about it. But that's what we changed. We changed our arrival coming in. We've taken out some waypoints and entered some new ones in. So let's just do this. Let's just go over our Cayenne to arrival, this chart that we normally would do, read it through, and then I'll go over the other chart and see the adjustments that we're going to make. Now, I usually start with the arrival route description, which is here on the bottom. We're going to ignore that because what it does is it's starting from Cayenne and it's going ahead and it's giving me instructions on Camel and Simrif. I don't know how you want to pronounce it. And Dylan, okay? We eliminated those waypoints from our route, okay? We've changed it out completely, all right? So I'm just going to go ahead and visually read what I see, and then I'll tell you exactly what we're doing, okay? So if we go on the top over here, I see DeVille, okay? That's our starting point right there, okay? So DeVille is basically our transition. Remember, the one before on a standard terminal arrival is your transition coming in, okay? So I see DeVille, and DeVille saying that we need to be above 16,000. So that's not a problem. We'll definitely be above 16,000 when that happens. Okay, then you got Myar, or Mylar, however you pronounce it. That's above 10. I can see that. Cayenne, once we get that, we need to be at 250 knots, and we need to be above 8. Okay, and then that's the fork in the road. And the fork in the road basically tells me if I continue straight on this path, I'm going to go ahead and hit these other 2 waypoints, or 3 of them, which is Camel, Simrif, and Dylan. Or if I was going to head and deviate to the right a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and hit these other 2 waypoints, which is Feeder and Jimmy. And that basically, reading from the arrival route description, if I go ahead and track it down, it's basically telling me that I'm going to be landing into runway either 10 left or right, okay? So I already know that I'm going to be going that way, okay? Now, if I go the other way, obviously I know I'm going to be landing into runway 28, left or right, all right? So I need to obviously land into runway 28 right, because that's the runway that's assigned to us according to the wind. That's where the wind direction is going, so we're going to be landing to runway 28 right, all right? So that's on this particular chart. Now I'm going to go ahead and hop on to the other chart which I had set up for us, and we're going to basically go over the different points and altitude, etc., okay? See you there. All right, folks, we're at our other chart, so let's go ahead and hop to it. Where's my mouse? Okay, so right over here on this top point right here, that is DeVille. You follow that down, and you get to Mylar. You follow that down, and you get to Cayenne, and then we're going to go ahead and ignore those other 3 waypoints that were in between, which was Camel, Simrif, and Dylan. And then we made our adjustment waypoint, which is right here, which is Vilu, okay? So let's go ahead and talk about what I'm going to be doing different versus what's listed on the chart that they asked me to do, okay? So when we're at DeVille, we're supposed to be above 16,000 feet. Well, when we get to DeVille, we're going to start our descent roughly around DeVille. Now we're going to follow that down until we get to Mylar. Now when we get to Mylar, they want us to be above 10,000. We're going to be at flight level 250. When we get to Cayenne, that's when we have our first speed restriction, okay? They want us to be above 8,000 on that. We're going to probably be at flight level 20, and we'll try to be at 250. We're going to be slowing down around this time, okay? Now, we've got 40 nautical miles between Cayenne and Vilu. So what we're going to do there is we're going to kind of slow down as we go down this way, excuse me. And by the time we get to Vilu, we're going to probably be about 10,000 feet, and we're going to be about roughly around 210 knots, okay? Then we're going to make a turn right here, and we're going to get to tolls, and that's when our approach plate begins, okay? And then we're going to be at 8,000 feet from there, and then we'll make our adjustments. Zip is our intercepting altitude, which we're supposed to be at 6,000. Right here, Widop, we're supposed to be at 4,900, and then that's going to take us the rest of the way into runway 28 right, all right? So that is your Cayenne 2 adjustment arrival into Boise International Airport. That's how you do it, folks. All right, folks, welcome back. Just a couple thousand feet away from our 10,000 feet checklist. Remember, it's 13,000. I'm going to go over here, take a look right here, folks. city is beautiful. The skyline and the horizon looks amazing. Oh my goodness. Good Lord. Have mercy on my soul. There's the sun. Oh, the sun's behind us. Okay, let's slow down. We are going a little too fast here. So I'm going to release the drag. Drag's coming up. And I'm going to start to raise this guy back up too, because here comes our 10,000 feet. Alright, I'm going to call that yes. And I'm going to put her at, I believe it was 1100. Was it 1100 or 1200? 12. Put her at 11. Ooh, what's going on with the, ooh, man. A little hazy here. Little bit hazy. Don't be lazy. Well, the thing is, I don't want to go, see, these mountains are right below us. And this is the highest point, I believe, is 9,200, which is up here somewhere. But the area that we're traveling over is going to be probably, I think the highest is 6,800. So, steel. Steel. Okay? We gotta be safe. So we're starting to slow down here, which is great. This is what I wanted. Go ahead and make the turn. Let's turn on our lights here. I'm gonna turn this up to a little bit so I can see. Flood, we can go down. This can go up so I can see the runway a little bit more. And if I have this up full blast like this, it's taken away. So I'm just gonna have it just a little bit. Everything looks fine here. Oh, what happened to my... Well, hold on, we'll go out there in a second, folks. What happened to my elevator pressure? Jesus. 2880. What happened there? All right, let's go out here. Oh, that looks awesome. Look at that logo. Beautiful. I just want you to know. Now she's starting to come down a little bit more. She's not staying at 240. She's coming down. It's going, but it's not by much. So now we're going to stay on this route for 12 nautical miles, and then remember Zip. We need to be at Zip at 6,000. So we're doing quite fine. I want this line right here to be on width up, which is right here. I want this line to be right there. So now this is 9 nautical miles away. I know it's kind of hard to see. The sun has gone down. But don't you worry. We shall be there. Our nav is set 110.15. I'm just going to get the glide slope off of that to kind of gauge reference. Oh, don't you... I'm going to slow it down even more. Don't you dare start with me. So I got to get her down. I got to get her slowed down now. Pitch is going to come up to compensate for it. But I got to get her slowed down. Alright, we're gonna make our turn now. Should, 4 nautical miles away. Alright, now we're at 230, which is fine. Recommended flaps come out 210 nautical miles. 210 knots. Alright, we're making our turn. See how it turns? It's gonna put us right there onto zigzag, so I need to see. Maybe I need to come down a little bit more. Oh no, we're fine. We're fine. See the line? There's zigzag, that's Zettel, I misread that. There's wit up. Runway is in sight. A little high right now. I'm just gonna get off the throttle all the way. There she goes. So once I get to 6,000, I'm gonna go ahead and take the autopilot off. Oh, there's my radio altimeter because we are over the mountains. Oh, and let's take a look here too. Our landing pitch is 8.4, and our speed is 143 plus 10. I'll do 153. I'll round it off to 150. Okay. See how she doesn't want to slow down? She just does not want to slow down. I'm trying to make you slow down, my friend. You don't even want to slow down. All right. So it's below 6. So I'm going to go ahead and disengage the autopilot. I'm going to bring the pitch down here. And I'm going to engage the first round of flaps. This is going to slow us down. Going to zoom in here a little bit so I can see. City lights are on. We'll engage the second notch of flaps. Push down on it to compensate. Got to get down now, folks. Gears coming down, flaps 3. I really got to get down now. And last stage of flaps. It's 1,000 feet.
Minimums.
Continue.
200. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20.
want to risk it. Don't do it. Oh, that was not a good one, but I should have took the next one, but oh well. I was slamming on the brakes there. This thing takes a minute to slow down, by the way. So, people have been scared, like, what the hell? All right, so let's go ahead, parking brake on. And I can turn off these lights, turn on the taxi, see where I'm at. Boy, that engine doesn't sound right. Flaps are coming up. Spoiler can get retracted. Alright, and I don't need this either. Let's go ahead and make our right turn. Sorry about that, folks. I got a little quiet. I was trying to concentrate. Oh, I should have went past and went on the next taxiway. That's not professional. But it's fun. It's learning. Okay, so we are. I don't need you either. We are headed to our gate. So why don't you guys go over the taxi briefing on how to get to, I think it's B22. So you guys go over that, and I'll meet you back here when we are just shy short. I feel like we're doing it the wrong way. When we are just near our gate. All right, folks. See you back here. I need food. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Boise Air Terminal, Gowan Field. You know, I've been calling this thing Boise International Airport. It's not even Boise International Airport. It's Boise Air Terminal, Gowan Field. I'm just so used to saying international. Anyway, welcome to Boise Airport. Hopefully we landed safely onto runway 28 right, and knowing Captain Zwalla, we take up always most of the runway, and we're probably going to be getting off here on Golf. Once we get off here on Golf, we're going to be making a right onto Alpha, and then we're going to be taking Alpha down, and then right before we get to this first intersection, we're going to kind of veer to the left, and then make our way around, and our gate is actually sitting on this real corner spot right here, and it's going to be B22. Now, knowing this X-plane, my gate's probably going to be taken, and I'm probably going to have to park the one next to it. You know, they only have 5 planes, and one has to be taken up my gate, huh? Anyway, so that's basically our taxi to B22. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Boise Air Terminal, Gowan Field Airport. All right, folks, welcome back. And unfortunately, this monkey man has just taken my space. I knew it was going to be taken. Taken by an American. So, what I'll do... Jesus, I can't see nothing. I'm going to turn the left nose light here because I can't see diddly squat. And I have nobody to guide me in either. So, I'm going to slow down here. And I'm just going to have to gauge it because it's dark. So I'm just going to have to do it to the best of my ability. I think there is the line right there. So we'll start our turn. Right now, see if we can get her in. CRJ. That's us right there. Oh, why not brake all the way? That's cool right there. So go ahead and put on the parking brake. God, this plugin for this thing, I'm telling you. Okay, so let's get our checklist up. And we've already done our approach and our landing. So we're at the gate. Parking brake is on. Thrust levers are on idle. They want me to pop up the GPU, huh? Well, I already know some stuff can go off, like the strobe. Well, I'll keep the logo lights on. But really, pop up the I'm not gonna argue. Or guess you're gonna need. You're gonna need it, I guess. Generators 1 and 2 off. Well, I don't need you. Generators 1 and 2 off. We'll cut off the engines. Left and so starting from the right and the left. So right and left. Weather radar off. Yaw damper off. Fuel boosts off. And gravity flow off. Fast seatbelt signs can go off. No smoking can go off. Main door. Air conditioning packs can off. Probes, they can go off. Hydraulic pumps. Jesus. It did not like that, huh? And then battery master off. Okay. Well, I'll keep this on for a second. We'll open the door up here real quick. Oh yeah, I gotta do it myself. That's it, right? Okay, so let's get out here and open the door. Thanks for helping, bro. Flight attendants and everybody. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Sorry about the turn into the taxiway, guys. Had a little bit to drink before I landed. Oh, the GPU will not. So here's the thing, it won't open. If the GPU's connected. How are you gonna open the door if the GPU's connected, dude? Come on. Think about it. Monkey. It should open up now. Oh. I know why. Now it should open up. No? We'll see. Why? Let me open it from the outside. Weird. Okay, hang on, folks. That's disconnected. That's connected. Seatbelt signs are off. Everything is off. Oh, this is on. Is it this thing? If I can't open it after this, then we shall stop. I don't think it's the GPU, because I've had the door open with the GPU. There you go. It was the seatbelt sign. There you go. So we'll keep it open. Just so we got some lights and stuff. Let's get out here real quick. Oh, that's kind of annoying. Oh no, that's the actual crickets and stuff. Wow. Is that xEnviro? I'll turn that off. That's annoying. Ambient sound. Yep, that's xEnviro. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we took so much time just to figure all this out. Oh my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Boise. Thank you for, oh man, the door's not even down all the way, but thank you for watching another episode and series of our continuous flights where we travel up and down this beautiful country of ours. There you go. That's much better. Once again, if you like what you see, hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe to stay updated on any new release videos that I drop. I do some cinematic stuff. I'm planning to do a little bit more things in the future. So obviously sit back, relax, and enjoy. Once again, whoa, who's coming up? Is that a car? That's somebody. Oh, that's a plane. Okay, I like that. I like that. Screenshot. That is awesome. Oh, I like that. Oh, I like that. Another one right there. Once again, a big shout out goes to my buddy Captain Mac, who I've watched his videos. There's a lot of things I learned, so go check out his channel. Thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen, for just staying with me. I am not perfect. I consider myself, once again, to be somebody who just watches these videos and tries to replicate as much as I possibly can. I like to learn. I am no way in shape or form a pilot. I am no way in shape or form have the utmost intelligence to do these things. I learn. You can totally see it in these videos. But I noticed that on the comments and especially a lot of people that watch these videos, these are somewhat of a tutorial for them to learn and grow. And so that's what I try to tend to do with these videos, is as I grow, you grow. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for watching. I totally appreciate it. Once again, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, and hit that bell to get notified of any other videos that I upload. I'll send you an email, and we shall see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, folks. I appreciate it.